this kills me. So everyone's concerned about what the Niners are saying with Trey Lance, how confident they are in Trey Lance. The left guard position is just like the quarterback position. You're going to move off a starter who had experience, who was a known quantity for something totally unknown, except that Aaron Banks was a second-round pick. And all of a sudden, they've changed their tune. They really have a lot of confidence in him and Jalen Moore and Javon Kinlaw too. Like, where did all this confidence come from in the last 2 months, Larry?
It's amazing. They have different levels of confidence in and out of season on these guys. So John Lynch, once people started kind of pushing back on the pick, as week after week after week went by where Banks did not see the field, late in the year, and I don't remember what week it was, maybe you do, but one of the weeks, week 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there, Lynch is like, doubled down on Banks. Like, I still think Banks is going to be a terrific player. I don't know what exact term he used, but he basically was like, hey, this was not a bust of a pick. I believe in this guy. Guy's going to be a hell of a player. So there's either some disconnect between John Lynch and the front office and the offensive line coach, or they don't see eye to eye, or somehow Banks was not good enough to be active in his rookie year, but he's good enough to start at left guard his second year. I don't know if he's just a guy. Some guys can only play one side or the other. Maybe he only could play the left side, and so Tomlinson was there. But man, it seems like a mixed message on Banks. And Moore, I thought, looked good at right tackle, or left tackle, I should say, in the preseason, and then couldn't get on the field for Tom Compton towards the end of the year. So I mean, we're getting mixed messages on both those guys. Kinlaw just got hurt, so we know, we know that he looks great, and outside their door or whatever, but it's wait until the games start and see if that knee holds up.
Yeah, it just seems kind of funny. Like, when the Niners saw themselves as a championship team, they said that over and over and over last year, right? We're a championship roster. We got 2019 vibes. We like Trey Lance, but we just can't turn over this Super Bowl team to a rookie. And that was the attitude. That's how Josh Norman started 15 games. And as a result, Aaron Banks wasn't even trusted to be a backup. He was inactive most of the year, meaning, like, if someone were to get hurt and he had to come in they still didn't trust him. Not for any amount of time could he be on the field. It was like, you just watch. And now, like, yeah, we feel good with him starting. So what does that say about the way you look at this season? Like, hey, are you no longer a championship team? Are you kind of saying, like, hey, if Aaron Banks works out, great. If not, we'll take another crack at it next year. Like, what are they saying with all the? I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking.
You know those end of the year videos where they have, like, the 2014 Carolina Panthers, and they'll have some little title, the year that was. I mean, the year that was for the Niners last year is, outside of Elijah Mitchell, we don't trust the 49ers of 2021. Hell no, we don't trust our rookies. I mean, they didn't play their rookies. Trey Sermon couldn't see the field. Played pretty good against Seattle, never to be heard from again. Deommodore Lenoir played pretty good early on, never to be heard from again. Banks couldn't get on the field. Moore couldn't get on the field. Lance couldn't get on the field. I mean, there's more than that probably. I mean, they just did not play their rookies last year. And I don't know. I thought Jalen Moore looked good. I never saw Banks, so I can't really tell you about Banks, but I thought Jalen Moore looked like a future starter. But obviously the O-line coach didn't feel like he was ready to go. I thought Trey Sermon looked pretty good in that Seattle game. Obviously Bobby Turner didn't agree. So, they have different standards. I'm sure they want certain things. Practice habits are important to coaches, so on and so forth. I know Bobby Turner wants running backs who will hit the hole, and maybe Sermon danced a little bit too much in the hole. I mean, I see individual reasons, but man, I mean, it seemed like a real disconnect between the personnel side of things and the coaching staff.
I got a theory. I think this has been hanging over the last couple of years, and I'm just going to say it. I think the Niners John and Kyle felt that they needed to make the playoffs last year. That missing the playoffs for a fourth time in 5 years was probably unacceptable, even though they had extensions. Like, they didn't want to tempt fate on that. And I think they felt that the purpose of Jimmy Garoppolo last year was saving everyone's job. You can't miss the playoffs again. You can't trust Jed and John and Denise. Who knows what they'll do? We got to make the playoffs. And now that they made the playoffs, they're like, Start Aaron Banks. We're good. I'm signed through 2025. You're signed through 2026. Let's give Talanoa Hufanga a shot. Now there's no pressure anymore. They made the playoffs last year. No one's getting fired this year. Only way they get fired is if Trey Lance starts and goes like 1-16. That's the only way it happens.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, they were pretty tight last year. There was no question that you would never know that a couple years prior they had been in the Super Bowl. The way the tightness around the organization, they lost 4 in a row. Suddenly Dr. John's at practice, and he's walking around. So, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it was like they acted like their jobs depended on it. So maybe their jobs did.
Maybe they did. And maybe I think it's pretty clear that they're cool now. They made the NFC Championship. Jed is just gushing about how the culture and the structure and all the great people. Like, dude, they're fine. They just have to just play it conservative. Don't do too much. Don't jeopardize your own job.
Maybe I think it's 50-50 on that. I think Kyle's fine. I think Lynch is still, Peters didn't get that New York Giants offer, so he's still there. But let's just say it was like, hey, we're going to lose Peters. There's probably some people that, would rather have Peters running the show than Lynch. So, you know what?
Maybe if Lynch takes the L on this Jimmy Garoppolo thing, that's the ammunition that Peters has to move in. There could be reasons why John Lynch refuses to take the L on this.
Right.
Interesting.
They do seem adamant about getting value in this trade. Like
it's the most important thing to them. Yeah. It's more important than winning a Super. It's the most important. 2022. The pursuit of a third-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Crazy to me. Sacramento Mike says, who is the Niners money manager? Do a topic on him or her. We lost K1 for 2 years, $5 million. Can't re-sign Keys. 5 starts. Paid Jimmy Garoppolo $100 million. This is crazy. Parag. I'm going to see if I can get Parag on the show because I've said so many nice things about him throughout the years. I think he would love to come on and explain his thought process.
That should be a very popular show.
Yeah. What about picking up Calais Campbell? Says Mark.
He's timeless, he's timeless. Yeah. How old is he at this point? I mean, the one thing that you don't want is you don't want another run stuffer. You got run stuffers. You need more pass rushers. Think Perry and Winfrey in the draft or something like that. They need a pass rusher inside.
My dad chimes in and says, Iran Barkley KO'd Thomas Hearns.
Wow. The hitman.
Wow. Thomas Hearns is one of my favorite boxers to watch highlights of. He was before my time, but man, that guy
crazy hand speed.
Iran Barkley, wow. Okay, I got to go watch that fight. I think I'm like
his dad. Also, Saquon's dad was a boxer. His brother was drafted in baseball by the Angels, so it's a ridiculous athletic family.